I want to talk to you about the Supreme Court when they ruled that states do have the right to collect sales taxes when they do online business. You're a business owner. How do you feel about this one?
Well, look, I've been a big supporter of this. Right now in Ohio, we have something called the usage tax, which many people don't know when they're signing their state tax return. They're saying, I did not buy anything across state lines over the internet, so I don't owe any taxes. But clearly they do owe taxes. Now we're putting the responsibility, taking it off of them and putting it on the business. The good thing about this case is it also said we're not going to overburden the small business, which is really important to me as well. Some of these small businesses, but think about this, Stuart. Now you have the business who has to compete with the online business who couldn't compete. The brick and mortar store, now they're going to be able to compete. Because many people would go in and say, well, I can buy that on the internet for 7% or 5% cheaper because I don't have to pay sales tax. It's now going to help small business and those brick and mortar businesses in small town America.
On the other hand, Jim, the days of the free internet are gone, and it's us consumers who will be paying more, and it's state governments which will be taking in more. How do you feel about that?
Well, remember, this is already a tax that's owed. This is a collection process, not a taxing process. I can tell you a personal story about me where I had the state salespeople say to me, you hadn't paid enough taxes when I was in one of my businesses because I was buying across state lines. Wasn't even aware. I was just paying the invoice. So in the end, this is a way that helps collect taxes and make a more even business across state lines.
But if I'm a small business guy and I'm selling online, am I not going to get harassed by state authorities because now you've on a compliance basis? I mean, how do I know which of these 10,000 different taxes you got to pay? It's going to hurt me as a little guy, surely.
Well, certainly, and this is where the federal government should step in. This is interstate commerce. This is something why I've been pushing the Marketplace Fairness Act that my friend Kristi Noem is a big supporter of as well. We need to get this so we simplify and we make sure we don't hurt those small businesses. We've been pushing and pushing and pushing this for years. Now the Supreme Court just got ahead of us. We need to fix this in Washington as well.
Tell me, before I close here, how's the economy doing in Ohio?
The economy is doing great in Ohio. Unemployment's down. The big issue as I travel the state, of course, is always the same thing, trying to find enough workers for the jobs that are available. Companies here are reinvesting. The jobs tax cut and jobs bill is working here in Ohio. I'm seeing it. Of course, we have the opioid crisis that seems to be bringing it some negativity here. We got to fix that as well. But this economy is growing. It's going to continue to grow under the president's policies. That's why I'm so supportive of it. Where my opponent, of course, you know, in the Senate race, Sherrod Brown, has always been an obstructionist to many of these things. We need to be able to move this forward and continue to move it forward.
All right, Jim Renacci, thank you very much for joining us, sir. We're obliged to you, as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart.